It's finally over. I've finally beaten the Inferno. Holy crap. That has been the most difficult thing I've ever done in my 14-year RuneScape career. The most difficult thing I've ever done in a video game. Probably one of the more difficult things I've ever done in my life. And it's over. I have finally beaten the Inferno. It's taken months of not doing attempts every day, not even doing attempts every week, but it has been a huge time investment, a very difficult task, and it is finally over. I beat the Inferno. Oh my god. And now I'm going to show you how I did that. Real quick before I show you guys the attempt is I just want to mention that this will be the last, obviously, in the series of Inferno progress videos. If you guys haven't seen those or you missed one, I'll put a link to the playlist in the description. So if you want the full context of this fight and the journey and all that, you can go watch that first, or I'll put it in the end screen as well. You could watch it there as well, or you don't have to see it at all. It just might be interesting if you want to know my full Inferno journey. It's possible I'll make more videos in the future about the Inferno, maybe guides if there's enough demand. Also, because I'm sure a lot of people will ask, here's my gear setup. Basically, the goal of this setup is to maximize prayer and defense and inventory space so I can bring a ton of supplies. With this setup, I'm bringing 9 brews and 11 sand fuse, which is way more than most people can afford to bring based on their gear. So the reason I have so much supplies is because of things like the Eternal Boots. This lets me barrage the Nibblers with Justicar on because it helps the negative mage bonus. It's not quite low with Eternal Boots on, so I can barrage them very easily. The Regen Brace gives a lot of HP over time, so I don't have to use as many brews. The Fury saves an inventory space because I'm not using a Anguish and Occult Necklace switch, so that saves an extra brew or Sandfew, whatever you prefer. The Range Cape gives a lot of prayer over time, which is very nice. I'm obviously using Dragon Darts, Dragon Arrows once the attempts started getting pretty good. The Sandfews give a little bit extra prayer, so that's nice as well. By far the biggest downside of this method is you lose out on a lot of range bonus. If you look at my bonus with proper range gear here, my range bonus goes from 138 to 167, which is much higher. So that's really the only downside, but the nice thing about having so much supplies is in the later waves when it gets a little more difficult, I can basically use Augury at the start of every wave, which gives me a lot of mage bonus and defense, 25% for all forms of combat, so basically I never die in the later waves. And also, if I do have to use some supplies, like if I have a bad wave and I have to drink like half a brew or something, it's really not a big deal because I have so much supplies to waste. So in my previous videos, I've shown TzKal attempts 1 through 5. My 7th attempt was the successful one, but here's TzKal attempt number 6, which is a very short one, for a very stupid reason, which you're about to see. So here is the first set of Major Ranger. The Ranger kind of beats me up a little bit, the 44 there, but I'm at no risk of dying now because I'm praying Mage. I can heal all that, it's really no problem. I'm really not nervous at all. Just want to get a hit on this guy. Uh-oh, what the hell? I clicked through him, and I run back. Too late, and I'm dead. Basically what happened there is he did his attack animation, and the click box changed oh so slightly for like a millisecond, like not even a tick, but literally milliseconds. And I clicked walk here and it was too late. So I actually laughed when that happened because that is a very strange and unfortunate way to die. The next day things didn't seem like they were going much better. This is when we had a lot of snowfall and cold weather in the northeast. And I did 2 Inferno attempts where I died to a disconnect. And this is the second example of that. Very demoralizing when this happens. I was in no danger here praying melee, and I died to a disconnect, so very, very unfortunate when that happens and demoralizing. And then I did my attempt number 7, and this was successful. And I'm going to commentate the entire thing for you guys. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I really don't need to watch this. You know, I've seen TzKal done a million times. Well, a lot of really interesting things happen in this fight. Some things that were beyond my control, some things that were pretty lucky, some things that were very unlucky. Some things I did were very clutch, and I didn't even mean to do them, and it worked out. So I do want to show you guys this full attempt with post-commentary. I did actually have the game audio recorded, but I had very calming music playing in the background, so I don't want to play that as well because of like copyright and stuff. But I actually do have the mic audio, so you can hear my clicks, which you can kind of tell sometimes when someone is nervous by the way they are clicking, and you will notice that later in this fight. So I got the lucky 50-50 shield spawn. The shield started moving west when the fight started rather than east. and that's better because I can do this. I can tag the major right away here, which means that he's not going to damage the shield very much. The ranger will damage the shield a little bit, but not too much. And it's very important here to kill this ranger before the shield starts moving west again, or at least moves past the middle again, because then I would have to tank him for much longer, and that would waste a lot of supplies and possibly get me killed. This guy can hit like a 50, so I do not want to be tanking him, and luckily I managed to kill him. Probably could have killed him a little bit faster than that. There were some opportunities I had to hit him when I was being safe instead, but better to be safe than sorry. The biggest problem I had in my previous attempt, aside from the one I just showed you where I died really quickly, was I was taking too much time, and basically the timers with the major and ranger were all messed up. So I was getting majors and rangers during the Jad and the healers and stuff on previous attempts. So we need to pick up the pace a little bit here, and it's going to be harder to do that with the lower range bonus, obviously, but basically I don't want to be wasting much time here. I have to get TzKal to under 600 HP. Once he is under 600 HP, the timers will be paused for the next set of major and ranger, so you can actually take your time a little bit once that happens. I should talk about my range pot dosage, or at least actually the bastion pot. In this case, it's basically the same thing, the orange potion. So I used one dose at the start, and that is already gone because I had to brew. I brewed up to full just to be safe. I didn't really need to brew, but it was probably the best decision. So they're quite limited bringing only one potion. You know, a lot of people bring 2 potions, but again, I like to save my supplies. So I'm actually killing TzKal unpotted right now, which you'd think is crazy, but I do want to have that higher HP. And I have to actually make some decisions soon as to where I want to use those other 2 doses, because they are very limited. There are going to be a lot of times in this fight when I'm going to brew and that range pot dose is going to be eliminated, so I have to really use them carefully. So I actually decide that I'm going to use it here. Now the timer is paused, and let me pot up to full, because the next part of the fight is Jad, and I figure it's worth using a range pot dose on Jad. One thing I didn't mention as well is, am I going to take any TzKal hits during this fight? If you get hit by TzKal at 115 HP, you have a 55% chance of dying, roughly. Many people do get hit by TzKal during their first Infernal Cape, so you guys are going to see if I do or not. Hopefully I don't, but maybe I do. Maybe I'll tank it. Here is Jad, and look at this. I want to attack him very quickly because otherwise he's going to hit the shield, and look what happens here. Lag. Literally, I'm not kidding. The game lagged, and actually probably my internet there lagged. And thankfully it happened when the shield was in the corner because I had more time. Look at that. I tried to blood barrage the healers right away to get them off healing Jad, and I actually kind of clicked through a healer. I clicked blood barrage, and then I kind of clicked in between the healers somehow because they were moving and it didn't register. Luckily I got them on the rebound, and I actually did get them quite quickly overall. You do not want to let Jad heal to full because it's really going to extend the time it takes to kill him. In one of my previous attempts, I took 2.5 minutes to kill Jad because I took a long time to get the healers off, and I also got hit by Jad many times, which usually will not kill you, but it's going to make you really stressed out and prolong the fight. But this is actually going extremely well. It's just kind of Jad while moving back and forth is a good way to think about it. That's how my friend put it. So that is the second hardest part of the TzKal fight done, in my opinion. The Jad fight. The healers are the hardest part in my opinion, and for another reason which I'll explain soon. I should use this time to talk about the green markers on the ground, which are my safe spots, which I labeled. So basically the timing for them here is I wait for the shield to almost pass me, which you're about to see here. Once it's about to pass me, I move on to the middle ones, and then I stay roughly even with it all the way throughout, and then I repeat. A lot of people say don't use these markers because they're going to not really teach you to follow the shield. And the problem with that is when the healers spawn, the TzKal attacks will actually speed up and the timing is going to change. So instead of just stopping using the markers, I actually found that you can just follow them at different timings. So when the healers spawn, I'm actually just going to leave the corner a little bit earlier, and that will actually protect me from the TzKal attack. So you see there I waited quite a long time before leaving the corner, but when the healers spawn, I'm going to have to wait, or actually leave a little bit earlier, just to stay more in line with the shield. The timing just gets a lot stricter when the healers are around. So now TzKal is at an HP where he is very close to spawning healers at below 240, but I'm actually not going to spawn the healers yet. I'm going to wait a little bit longer. because I want to have the second set of healer, or rather Major and Ranger spawn, and then I'll kill them, and then I'll have the full amount of time to kill the healers without having to worry about the Major and Ranger coming back. That happened in one of my previous attempts. A third set, actually, of Major and Ranger came when I was killing the healers, and you're basically screwed if that happens. It's not impossible to continue, but it's very difficult, so maybe I would have had enough time to spawn the healers here and kill them before a second set came, but I just want to play it safe. My stamina pots aren't unlimited. I am actually going to use basically my entire stamina pot here, so there isn't a lot of time to spare as far as that. You can actually do a lot of walking while following the shield, but I don't really know the timing for that, so I'm just running the entire time. I'm very high agility. I'm like 85, which is pretty good, I think, so my run is going to be restored at least when I'm sitting in the corner a little bit. So I have to make a decision here. Do I want to use this range pot dose now? I brewed up earlier after the AndrewAJT fight, so that dose which I used is now gone. I'm actually going to save it for the healers and try to kill these guys unpotted. I actually forgot to turn Rigor back on here, so Rigor is off, and I have to kill this Ranger again before leaving to go to the west corner again. And it's very important that I kill this guy while I'm here. And again, I forgot to turn Rigor on, which really sucks, because watch what is going to happen. I'm going to get hit a lot, and it's going to lag. Oh my god. Can you believe that lag? But thankfully, we managed to kill him. Somehow, without Rigor on, and with a very low range bonus, we still managed to kill that Ranger. Very silly that I forgot to turn Rigor back on, but it didn't really matter in the end. And now we do want to kill this guy quickly, because we want to get the healers started ASAP, essentially. But again, have to really take my time here. The most important thing is to follow the shield, so if you follow the shield, everything else in the TzKal fight is really not that bad. And here we go. I'm going to use that last range pot dose, so there's no more getting back range bonus. And I'm going to very carefully kill this guy quickly. And then I'm going to want to spawn the healers, which is the hardest part of the fight. And it's also something I've had very little experience doing. I only had that one fight with the healers before, and that was actually the same one where the Major and Ranger came back during the fight, so I didn't even really have a fair chance. So I'm going to hit TzKal under 240 HP while I'm in the corner, because then I can go through and tag all of the healers with a blowpipe right away. And this is extremely important because they are going to heal TzKal very, very quickly, as you see here. 500 HP in just a matter of seconds. So I just want to hit them all once and tag them. And the problem with the healer fight is you take a lot of damage, which you're going to see here. So I want to kill these healers very, very quickly. So I can actually stand in the extra corner here, like more west, and that will actually dodge the middle healers' attacks. And basically, the more healers I can kill, the less damage I'm going to take. So I really just want to, while following the shield, try to kill as many of these as possible as quick as I can. And I actually had a very hard time doing this. So I'm using a lot of brews here, which thankfully I had saved up. So using the redemption method, when I get hit below a certain HP, I'm going to get healed. And I actually drink a brew dose before I drink a new dose of Sanfew. Kind of a risky hit there. It actually worked out fine because I got back behind the shield in time, but in hindsight, I wouldn't have gone for that hit. And this is going to be extremely unlucky, these hits. Watch. I know I'm not range potted anymore because I had to brew, and I don't have another range pot, but I come very close to killing these guys. You can see my mouse is actually quite nervous here. Like, you can just tell. Oh, can we kill this guy? Nope. What about this guy? Nope, they're both going to live. But at least the fact that I've killed the other guys means that I can go over here and heal to full HP. As I mentioned, the shield is... Well, the shield isn't changed, but the TzKal attacks are speeding up. So now when I follow the shield, I'm going to leave a little bit earlier here. Actually being more behind it than I would have liked. But basically you'll notice that I'm kind of more in line with the shield. Whereas before the healer spawned, I can kind of be ahead of it or behind it a little bit more. And there we go, the healers are dead, so that is the hardest part of the fight done. It took a lot of supplies, but now we just kind of are in the home stretch. We got one more set of Major Ranger to do, and then we should be able to kill TzKal. It's worth mentioning as well, I didn't really use the Twisted Bow during the healers fight, and that is because the healers don't have a magic level. The Twisted Bow basically doesn't hit anything on things that don't have a magic level, so you could use it to tag them, but it's basically just going to hit a 0. So again, this is the third set of Major and Ranger, and I have to kill the Ranger again, hopefully in one cycle here. I don't want to have to go back west with this guy being alive, and watch this. 45, okay, I'm 21 HP, drink a brew, and I tick-eated. Yep, I literally tick-eated him. I was 21 HP, and I drank a brew right before he would have hit the 21, which would have killed me. I had a good reaction there. I realized I wouldn't kill him before going back here, so I put on Justicar armor and also the Ellie, and with the rigor on as well. It's very unlikely that the Ranger is going to hit anything but a 0, especially with all that extra defense of the Sarah brew. We have 120 defense, so he's going to hit 0 after 0, and I actually leave the Justicar armor on here because I know I can kill him even with the armor on. It will give a negative range bonus, but it's still going to hit enough where I'll have plenty of time. And that's basically it. That's really most of the fight, but I actually am kind of dumb here. You don't need to be killing this Major. You can just ignore him because unless you're going to get a 4th set of Major and Ranger, there's no reason to kill this guy at all. And look at my supplies. Holy shit. We pretty much use all of them. I came into this fight with piles and piles of brews and sand fuse and the range pot and the stamina, and they are all gone. So we needed almost every little bit of them. We're actually going to end this fight with 2 doses of sand fuse left. Now, I didn't actually need to use all of those. I was kind of wasteful at times. You know, I was like brewing when I'm already like 102 HP or something, and using sand fuse to get my stats back, and also losing all my prayer from redemption, having to get that back, etc. But we really made good use of those supplies, I'll say that. You know, if I opted for an Anguish and a Colt necklace and had to bring 1 less brew or 1 less sand fuse, I'm not sure where I would be at this point in the fight, honestly. So now we're coming to the end of the fight, and this is actually a time of the fight where many people die because they do not realize that it's not over until the fat lady sings. She is warming up right now, but if I make one mistake, or if I misclick, or if I don't follow the shield correctly, I can still get 1 hit. In fact, I'll probably get 1 hit, so you have to be laser focused. At this point, I was not thinking like, oh my god, I'm about to get Infernal Cape. I'm just thinking, let's just assume I'm going to hit a lot of zeros here and take our time and get these good hits in. And again, the Twisted Bow's main flaw is its accuracy is very bad. Even on big bosses that have a high magic level, the Twisted Bow is going to hit a lot of zeros, as you see here, so this could actually take a little while. Zuk is at 103 HP now, but this could take a few more rotations if I don't get good hits. Getting a pretty good one there, 68 HP. Could maybe even 1 hit him at this point with his remainder HP, but not going to rush it. Going to just stick to my game plan. Follow the shield, that's the main thing. Just going to take our time. So far we have not gotten hit by Zuk 1 time, and I do not plan on changing that. Big XP drop. Can we get 1 more? Is this it? Dead.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. I beat the Inferno. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Fuck this. I'm never fucking going back here again. Oh my god. Dude, I can't wait to tell everybody. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. I beat the Inferno. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm leaning back in my chair right now. I didn't get the pet, I'm so sad. Oh my god. 210. Oh my god. Infernal Cape, I'm the best PVMer alive except for Vooks. Oh my god. That was so easy. I knew it after that last time. I did it.
Wow, what an amazing Inferno attempt. For my first completion, we did not get hit by Zuk a single time, and it took us only 3.5 hours, which is honestly a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to take like 6 hours when I eventually get the cape. Of course, there's no such thing as an Infernal Cape that is not impressive. Even if you tank 10 Zuk hits and you take 3 days to do it, it makes no difference to me. Every cape is a huge accomplishment. I do want to go through some shoutouts while I show all my deaths here. So the first one is this video is dedicated to SLRMC. He's a friend I've had for 10 years. He was the first member of the clan chat back in 2010. He coached me throughout the Inferno when I was just learning it, and he was a massive help for me. He's a Theater of Blood and Inferno legend, and he allowed me to get through the waves very, very easily with his extensive knowledge of the Inferno. So thank you so much to him. I would not even be close to getting the Infernal Cape right now if it wasn't for his masterful coaching. A couple other minor shoutouts I'll put on screen. These guys helped me with specific things with the Inferno, and especially the TzKal-Zuk fight. Also, a shout out to my friend Aaron for a lot of support throughout this. And lastly, shout out to all of you guys. You guys have been insanely supportive. All these comments saying, "You got it, man," or "You got this," or "Next attempt, you're going to get it." That actually helped a ton, and it really kept me motivated to get this cape. So I could not have done it without you. Thank you. I also do really want to say that I do believe anyone could get an Infernal Cape. It doesn't matter your skill level going into it. I certainly wasn't a PVM or Prey Flicker master when I started doing attempts, but I simply used trial and error, and I took all the information available to me through guides and through help from other players, and I was able to do it. Zuk especially is trial and error, and triple Jads really just takes practice. And with the Justice Star method that I've used, the waves are really not that difficult either, so it definitely does get easier with better gear, so you could save up for higher gear if you want to go that route, but even if you want to start with an ACB or something, you can definitely do it. I really think that anyone can. That's not to say that it's easy. It's definitely probably the hardest challenge in the game, except for that silly 6 Jad thing going on right now, which doesn't even really count. But it's also quite fun to do as well. I actually miss doing attempts, and I'm actually thinking of doing some Slayer tasks at Zuk in the future, or maybe even do some challenges like I'll try doing it with an ACB. It really is quite fun, and it's very rewarding as well. And if you guys want some guides, I definitely had to learn a lot of things on my own throughout the Inferno, despite all the help I had. If you guys want some guides on little tips and methods that I found work for me, as someone who's not trying to do a very, very fast Inferno attempt, let me know in the comments, and I could definitely consider making a guide or even a tips video in the future, because everyone gets the Infernal Cape in a different way, and I think my way seemed to be pretty reliable in the end. So that's going to do it for the video today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. That would really help out the channel, and also subscribe if you haven't done so already, and click the bell to get notifications whenever I upload, which is typically every late Tuesday afternoon Eastern Standard Time. Definitely let me know in the comments if you want an Inferno tips video based on my methods, and if you have any general questions about how I did things, feel free to ask in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You can also join our clan chat, AndrewAJT62. As you saw earlier, it's been running since 2010, and it's been quite active recently. We also have a Discord. Even if you can't join the clan chat, you can feel free to join that with the link in the description. We have over 500 members in there now. You can also follow me on Twitter down below. I'll follow you back if you play RS. And you could follow me on Twitch down below. I stream boss mass events every once in a while. Also, if you really are feeling generous, you can support the channel on Patreon. I'll leave the link for that right here in the end screen. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday.